Wait a second. So you're telling me that you only had to fight one fight in the finals? Yo, what's up, Bonsai? I'm the Cobra Kai kid. That was a little reference to Cobra Kai season 4, episode 5, match point. I love that scene. It was when it was the long-awaited Daniel explaining to Johnny who Terry Silver is, and like you could tell Daniel gives him this whole explanation, and literally, Johnny says, "Wait a second. So let me get this straight. You only had to fight one fight that year?" Like, instead of like, "So this guy tormented you over a karate tournament?" Or, "Wait, so this guy's like a real martial artist and now he's training my son?" No, that's not the question. He was he was jealous over the fact that Daniel only fought 1 year, which, I mean, to be fair, you gotta give it up to Johnny, for being a two-time champ. You could argue that his two-time champness was more deserving than Daniel because Johnny had to fight through everybody for 2 years. He didn't just automatically advance to the finals 1 year like Daniel did. So, in Johnny's defense, and I love that scene at the end in the finale when they were both, coaching Sam, and then, Daniel made the correction to Daryl to tell him that Johnny is also a fellow two-time champ. Love that. It's funny because Hayden Schlossberg, one of the creators of Cobra Kai, said on a tweet, someone asked him, "Will it ever get acknowledged that Johnny is a two-time champ as well?" Because they never acknowledge it in the show, except for Johnny. No one else ever acknowledges it. At the All Valley tournament in season 1, it was just Daniel LaRusso, the two-time champ. They never mentioned Johnny as two-time champ. So, it's like it was kind of a joke. And when someone asked Hayden, "Will Johnny ever get mentioned as a two-time champ?" Hayden said no. Like, he was trolling. It was very funny. So I just want to thank all of you guys for joining me for this live stream. I'm very excited to be talking to you guys about season 4. Like, you guys don't get how excited I am to be. Finally, it's like I haven't done a live stream since January 1st, or my bad, December 1st, 31st, when season 4 first came out. And that's because I've actually been sick. So ever since season 4 came out, I actually found out I had COVID. So I was very sick, and um, I couldn't really do anything. I had the strength to watch season 4 and do 2 live streams. But it was tough for me to do more than that. So, um, I don't know if it showed. I don't think so. I think I was still uploading and doing a lot to hide it, but I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling a lot better now. Um, so that's good. And yeah. So hopefully I can do this stream long enough because my throat's been hurting a little bit for the past week. You guys know how it goes, but I'm very excited for this stream because I've really like been dying to talk to you guys about season 4, more than that reaction live stream because I was very sick then. Um, I'm so excited to get into this season. This is my favorite season, and there's so much to talk about. And I have a very special guest joining me. Uh, he's gonna be joining me about a half hour into the stream ish, and that guest is Watch Party. You guys may know him. He does Cobra Kai YouTube videos, and I'm very excited to talk to him, to talk to another and get another opinion about season 4. But for now, until he joins, we're gonna talk, just me and you guys. So I want to answer questions. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to make videos, theories, discussions, analyses. I'm gonna be doing all of that in due time. There's a couple videos that I want to get out first. I got out my non-spoiler review today, which is what I really wanted to get out. And then soon I will be getting out my spoiler review, which I'm also very excited to get out. So my full spoiler review of Cobra Kai. Um, tomorrow, just some housekeeping, before we get into the stream. And thank you guys for over 200 people joining the stream. Wow, thank you. Thank you guys. Make sure to like the video. I see some super chats. Thank you guys. I'm gonna get to those in a minute. Some housekeeping. Tomorrow I will be live on Instagram with Popternative, who is a fellow YouTube channel that they do a bunch of Cobra Kai interviews and stuff. I'll be live on Instagram with them. I'll post on my Instagram what time when we figure that out. We'll probably figure that out tomorrow. Friday, I will be doing an interview, my first Cobra Kai season 4 interview. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be pre-recorded, so it's not going to be live Friday. I'm just going to be doing it Friday, and then hopefully I will release it soon after. So I'm so excited to do interviews. Like, those are like, interviews are one of my favorite things to do. I just love talking to people from the cast. Just as a fan, it's just like, it gives me chills, like talking to, it doesn't matter who the person is. They could be in one episode or they could be in the whole season. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I think everybody is essential to the show, plays a key part. And, you know, I look up to everybody in the show, and it just gives me goosebumps seeing all these different characters. And then like them interacting with me, it's really weird. And I'm so interested in the behind the scenes process, the auditions, what goes into filming, like all of the little stuff that you don't see on camera, because there's so much that happens on camera, but there's way more that happens off camera. So very excited about that. And then Saturday night, I will be live on Cobra Kai Companions channel. So we'll be doing a live stream there. And then I'll have videos coming out in the meantime. So, and some people who I've already interviewed, I saw someone mention my interview with Kenny. I will be interviewing Dallas Young again, because I interviewed him, for 2 hours, but that was before the season even came out. No spoilers. So I'm definitely going to get to interview him again. It should be a fun month, and hopefully it continues. I really want to. Wow, we have over 300 people here. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I really want to just interview the whole cast, honestly. That'd be a dream. And then also the crew. I won't announce who I'm interviewing Friday, but I will announce that eventually, like very soon, I will be interviewing Zach Robinson and Leo Berenberg, the two composers of Cobra Kai. The season 4 soundtrack officially releases on Friday. That's not the interview. That's not who I'm interviewing Friday, but I will be interviewing Zach and Leo soon. And I'm so excited about that. If you guys have been following me here on the channel, you know I'm the biggest fan of the music. I love the music of Cobra Kai, and season 4, the music was sick. And I can't wait to get my hands on that soundtrack and really digest the music. I thought the Terry Silver stuff was pure genius. So I'm on my third rewatch of season 4. The second rewatch, I was definitely paying more attention to the music. The first time you're watching it, you're just focused on the story. The music is just amazing with it. But the second time, you start to pay attention a little more details. So now I'm on my third rewatch. I'm curious where all of you guys are at. Where are you guys at in in terms of rewatching? Are you guys rewatching the show? Post my reaction to season 4. I recorded everything. I recorded all my reactions to season 4. They're like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why rewatch? Why not? I love the Leah and Anthony. I love that arc. That like, and that music with Leah and Anthony. I really enjoyed that. I thought that whole arc with the middle schoolers. I don't know. It was like, I don't know. It gave me like Stranger Things vibes when, like, you know, I don't know, that the middle school stuff. I don't know, like it felt like the 80s. That's why. It felt like the 80s when they were playing basketball and Anthony was like looking at Leah and like, they had that smiling thing. It was just awesome. Um, I see we have some super chats. I really appreciate them, guys. Thank you. Let me read those. Um, Moises, thank you so much. Mike Barnes is Miguel's dad. Um, that's the theory. That's one of the theories, but I doubt it, honestly. I think it's just too much of a coincidence. So I'm gonna say no. Chris Klotz. Yeah, I'm over COVID. Um, so I'm good now. Just a little sore throat, but that's also because I just do a lot of talking. So, but thank you so much. Triple D, thank you so much for the super chat. Glad you're better. Thank you. Can't wait to see your review. Oh my god, my spoiler review is I haven't edited it yet. I hate that word. I hate that word. Edited it. I haven't done it yet. I always say that. I always have to say that phrase when I'm doing a freaking live stream. It. Edited it. But I'm just gonna say did it. I did it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it yet. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I didn't do it yet. But I would say it's probably, it's definitely longer than the non-spoiler review, that's for sure. And I was in the woods filming that. Uh so now that I'm just telling you guys what happened, like, you know, I really wanted to do a non-spoiler review. I was dying to talk about the show, like about season 4. I just watched it. I loved it and I wanted to really just get my thoughts out. I sat down here, put the camera on me, I put the lights on, and my head started pounding and I just couldn't do it. So I was like, this isn't gonna work. I don't know what to do. And then Mr. Miyagi came over my shoulder and was like, Drew son, no need fancy setup to get point across. And I'm like, thank you, Mr. Miyagi. So that inspired me to go into the woods, Coyote Creek style. Daniel Russo says no distractions. And I decided to film my thing there. I just set up my tripod. I was there. It was like 50 degrees, maybe 40. I don't know. It got a little chilly, but I powered through it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So glad I got that. Brian Larkin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Amazing. My favorite season. I emailed you more fan art. Any chance you could share them on Instagram and Twitter? I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Haven't been on Instagram and Twitter too much. I've probably today was the most I've been on it, but I definitely will. Dark Ronin, thank you for the $2 super chat. Which episode was my favorite? Oh, wow. Great question. I never really thought of that. Great question, actually. I never thought of that. Which episode was my favorite? I could tell you my favorite scene. All right, let me tell you my favorite scene. Maybe I'm going to look at the episode list just to refresh my memory. My favorite scene, guys, and you're going to hear me talk about this for like forever, for the next year until season 5, maybe past. You're going to hear me talk about the scene. You're going to hear me quote this scene. I haven't been able to stop quoting this scene. There's one scene I've just been quoting it all day, like for the past couple days. Like it's one scene. It's my favorite friggin' scene. And I'll just say it. Do you want to be Cobra Kai? You want to be Cobra Kai? You want to be Cobra Kai? I'll make you a Cobra Kai. I'm in love with that scene. Like, I know it's messed up. I'm not crazy. Like, I know it's a messed up scene, but like, I just like the story is like crazy behind that. So that's just I haven't been able to stop quoting that scene. Do you want to be Cobra Kai? And then when they cut back to it, when Kreese is getting arrested, crazy. But that's that scene definitely. I haven't been able to stop quoting. Just wait, what? Sadie, you knew I would say that? You knew I would say that line? I just that scene, the music when Silver's beating him up, it's like carnival music. That piano, it reminds me of carnival music. And just I want to do like a analysis of that scene because that scene is like there's so much like depth to that scene. Stingray in that scene. Well, first off, you have Silver drinking after having just failed kind of, he brought Johnny into the old dojo to beat him up cuz that's what Kreese wanted. That's what Kreese wanted. That's my Silver impression. I won't stop doing my Silver impression. I thought that's what you wanted. What happened to No Mercy? Um so you know, it was just nuts to think that like Silver thinks he's doing the right thing, but then, Kreese obviously had a problem with it. Do you have a problem with that? He had a problem with it. And Silver goes back to the Cobra Kai dojo. He's drinking, like, "Oh, no mercy, no mercy. Like, I thought that's what you want." He's like, and then, of course, Stingray comes in. Of course. And Stingray, old Stingray. Um, "Oh, sir, like, I want to be Cobra Kai." What the hell? Sensei Kreese was very clear. Like, get out of here. But sir, I want to prove myself. I'm loyal. I want to be a Cobra Kai. So you want to be a Cobra Kai? You want to be a like, and then just like the look on Stingray's face when he's beating him up, because you've never seen Terry do that. That's the first time you saw Terry like violently attack a defenseless person. The first time. He fought Johnny, sure, but Johnny fought back. Stingray was defenseless. He posed no threat. There was no strike first with Stingray because it's not like, oh, if I don't strike first, he's going to strike first. Stingray was no threat. But still, Silver beats the hell out of him up, kicks him in the face, and then he's in the hospital. And I was like, why are they like, I was really like blown away with how much screen time Stingray got. He got a lot of screen time, but it was really great. I thought the whole tie-in, Stingray like talent, like, I'll make you Cobra Kai, and then if you tell the cops that it was Kreese who beat you up, like Stingray's like a little kid. He's like he's like one of those like he's like one of those adults with the brain of a little kid. It's like I'll do anything to be in Cobra Kai. I'll do anything. Like, he's a little kid. He doesn't get it. It's like, sir, like, it's my life. It's my only dream. It's my goal to be a Cobra Kai. Like, he's brainwashed. Like, when he hears that Bert's not in Cobra Kai, he's like, what? You're not in Cobra Kai? It's all about Cobra Kai. He's obsessed with the fact of being Cobra Kai. I freaking love that. Justin Guerrero, do you think he's actually going to want to be in Cobra Kai anyway? I'm thinking not. No way. Definitely. Okay, wait. I want to talk about this. John Elk. To be honest with you, I do not like what they're doing with Miguel's character. I have to ask, like, I've seen a lot of people, even like people in my family who I've spoken to, they're saying like they don't like what Miguel, like, they didn't like Miguel's character in season 4. I mean, I thought he was great. Honestly, I thought Sholo was great, and I thought like his whole arc of like, like trying to like look for that father figure, you know, in Daniel and then in Johnny. Like, I thought that whole thing was like really like it was a lot deeper. Like, Miguel's character was a lot more richer, I felt, in season 4. I'm curious, like, with the people who don't think he was that good. Like, I'm curious, like, like, why? I'm curious why. I'm just curious. I don't know. Um, Wait, we got a couple more super chats. Thank you guys. Moises, thank you so much. Kenny should bullied Anthony for what he did. Um, Leak season 5, Robbie went his dad to find Miguel. What Miguel think about Robbie went his dad? What? Oh, you're probably referring to the pictures of Tanner Buchanan. This isn't really a spoiler. I mean, there were pictures out there. Tanner Buchanan was in Mexico, so was in Puerto Rico where they're filming the Mexico scene. So it's most likely that that's where they're gonna be doing it. So you're gonna have Johnny, Robbie, and Miguel, maybe some other characters. Wow, we have over 500 people here. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Really means a lot. I'm glad you all could join. So yeah, it's crazy because you're gonna have Robbie, Tory, my bad, Robbie, Miguel, and Johnny all um going to Mexico to find Miguel's dad. Wildman Beyond, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Want Yasmin to have a Miyagi-Do arc in the next seasons. That'd be cool, but I don't know if they're gonna do that, honestly. I don't think they'll do that because I think they want to keep some characters to just not involved in any of the drama, honestly. Because if every single person joins a dojo, it's kind of unrealistic. I think it's important to have some characters a part of the dojo, some characters not a part of the dojo. Like Amanda. You're not going to say Amanda joined Miyagi-Do, but she's still involved in the story, which I like. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess it would be cool. Like, I thought Moon was so close to joining Eagle Fang. I actually would like that. I would have actually been in favor of that, but they didn't do that. I was like, dang, I would have wanted that. Like, don't get me wrong. If Yasmin joined Miyagi-Do, I'd be all for it. Dark Ronin, thank you so much. Who was my favorite ship of season 4? Favorite ship of season 4. I'm trying to think. Did Sam and Miguel really have any like? They weren't too like romantic. I don't think they weren't too romantic with each other. Even at prom, they weren't even like Tori and Robbie actually had like more of a connection than Miguel and Sam did. That's what I feel. So I would say I'm actually pretty surprised with how much I like the Tori and Robbie relationship, even though we knew like they were gonna get together because it's literally like it's whatever Sam leaves behind, that's what Tori gets. Sam leaves behind Miguel, that's what Tori gets, and then Robbie, that's what. But I actually really like their connection, and when they were talking at prom, they were having that heart to heart. I thought that was really good, and they're good dancers. They were very good dancers. So that's my favorite ship, I would say. And I really liked even though they didn't get together, I really liked Anthony and Leah, or Kenny and Leah. I don't know. I liked the middle school arc. I'm rooting for my boy Anthony, probably. Like, I love Kenny, but with Leah, I think we saw more Anthony Leah. Like when they're in the library, like they had that little scene together. I don't know if for Kenny it was always about Leah. For Anthony it seemed like he liked Leah more. Um let's see. Um Redub, thank you so much for the super chat. You think Miguel would have won if he stayed at the tournament? Nah, I don't think so. I love my boy Miguel, and I wish he would have won, but that injury, man, I mean, like, I think Robbie would have won the tournament if he wasn't distracted because he got distracted with Kenny. Eli had no distractions. Robbie was like a little thrown off. Like he could have got a point on Eli, but didn't. So um I think Robbie would have won the tournament if not for that. But I think Eli would have ultimately beat Miguel because Miguel was just he was just destined to get hurt or like not perform at his best. Despite how good of a fighter he is, I think he was just too injured. I mean, I definitely um could have seen him making the finals. I mean, I know he had to go through Hawk, but I think he beats everybody except Hawk and Robbie, honestly. Um uh Moises, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Terry Silver is Tori's dad or uncle. None. Julie Pierce will return season 5 of Cobra Kai. Very possible. I think that could happen. Mike Barnes might show up on season 5. Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. I think Julie's gonna come back in season 5, honestly, and I think Mike's gonna come back in season 5. J Dog, thank you for the super chat. I think that Chosen is back to teach Miyagi-Do because the deal was that Daniel and Johnny have to stop teaching in the Valley. Chosen was not part of that deal. Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like I've always said it's kind of like you're like, what do they really expect with this deal? Because it's like, listen, say like I like it's like, you know what it's like? It's like if I always say this, it's like you're playing basketball with a friend and it's like, watch party. What's up, man? I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send you the link in a minute. Guys, we're gonna be getting watch party on here very soon. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to stay tuned. We're gonna have a full Cobra Kai season 4 discussion. Um, I mean, I always use the analogy of like if you're playing basketball, right? And you say, okay, $5, I win this game, or whoever wins gets $5. It's like, okay, and then you play, and then the person wins is like, okay, now you owe me $5, and then the other dude's like, and the winner's like, you owe me $5, and the other dude's like, no, I'm okay, I'm not gonna give it to you. That's what it's kind of like here. It's kind of like Terry Silver, like they made this deal, like whoever wins, like the other dojo has to shut down, and now Daniel's just like psych. So it's kind of like I don't know. Um, I don't know. Ruben, thank you for the super chat. What's next for Eli? And do you think his character will be less fun now that he's training with Daniel? Oh no, his character. Um, well, he didn't have he lost his confidence in season 4. Up until once he got to the tournament, that's when it came back. So I think season 5, going to season 5, he'll have the confidence. And then, Moises, thank you so much. Miguel will not be friends with Robbie. I think they'll come to a mutual understanding. I think they'll come to a mutual understanding. I wouldn't be too sure about that. I think, especially if Robbie's going to Mexico, then I think there's definitely going to be um there'll be a understanding there with them. The real Cobra Kai is in the chat. What? The Cobra Kai page? That's not the Cobra Kai. No, that's not the Cobra Kai page. It says Cobra Kai in June. Okay. Wild Man Beyond says Terry Silver's Darth City. It's literally Star Wars. It's literally the Star Wars story. Okay. Watch party. I'm gonna send you that link. It's sent. So we got another super chat. Thank you. Oh wow, we got a couple. The voice actor. Extreme situations require extreme measures. Did He didn't say that. Wait a second. I just realized he didn't say that line. He didn't say extreme situations will require extreme measures. And he said it in the, wow, we have 600 people here. Well, crazy. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hit that like button. It's crazy because in the Terry Silver trailer, he said the line and we heard it, his modern day voice say it, but he didn't say it in the actual season 4. Interesting. My favorite scene was Silver shedding his weakness. Do you think that Kreese would help Johnny? Do I think that Kreese would help Johnny? I don't know. What do you think? Watch party, Mr. Watch Party.
Sorry, I think I missed the question. I missed the question. What was it?
Do you think that Kreese would help Johnny?
You know, it's weird. I think maybe not in season 5, but maybe the show is going somewhere. Maybe Kreese even helping Daniel to take down Cobra Kai. Not in season 5 though, because obviously Johnny's going in one direction and Kreese is very literally going in another direction. So, but you know, possibly down the line, you know, they're all about putting different combinations of characters together and having unlikely team ups. So maybe down the line, not in season 5 though.
I have to give you props because I just, you know, I was reading the question and I saw you, so I just pulled you up and you were right on it. Right on it. As soon as you come into the stream, it's like boom, right into the Cobra Kai. No intro, but
no intro.
No, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here. It's just so much to digest from season 4. It's just you got to talk about it.
Yeah. How many times have you watched it multiple times or just once?
I've only watched it twice. You know, I've watched a few clips back and forth, you know, when I'm looking and I'm, you know, like writing out my review here. And then, you know, so I watch a few parts. I do want to get a few more watch throughs in, of course, you know, just from front to back before I start, you know, then just looking at specific scenes and stuff. Cause there's a lot of like specific scenes I also want to like relook at and look in more closely to pick up the dialogue and stuff. So, but as far as full watch throughs, only twice so far.
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd watch of it.
You're on your 3rd.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. Just like watching, even though you know what's gonna happen, it's just, as you said, a lot to digest.
Yeah, a heck of a lot to digest. Mm-hmm.
What would you say is like, what part are you trying to digest most?
So I need to look back. I want to look back at some of the running themes through the season. You know, for example, there's many references to the "You're the Best Around" song, right? There's like actual lyrics are spoken in dialogue. They talk about history repeating itself. I want to pick up on all of those and see how much of it is actually in there and if it's in any order. I was talking to like Brianna the other day. She needed to look at it too because she thought it might have been in order. Like they were actually saying the lyrics of the song in dialogue throughout the season. You know, going up to episode 9, the introduction to Miyagi-Do. Like I was just rewatching that because I was like, doesn't he say somewhere they're the best around? He's like, yeah. When he's introducing Miyagi-Do, he ends it with to prove like that they're the best around. So like, do we have that song? How much of that up to that line essentially? So like a lot of those little things, and then just, you know, and just picking up on so much of the big things. And there's so many little things you miss and big things you miss. So that, yeah, those are some examples of things that I'm just looking for going back through.
Yeah. Are you familiar with like, I don't know, like some people like on YouTube will like edit videos, like maybe like they'll edit a movie and they'll take like a bunch of lines or words spoken from the characters and they'll put it to a song.
Yeah.
I want someone to do that with You're the Best Around. Like if we got any editors here in the chat, like this is
Mhm.
this would be a project like that it would take a lot of time, but to get like, one character saying you're, another character
You
saying
are the
the,
best. Yeah.
and it's like, they're kind of talking it, but you kind of have to quickly splice it to
You want to be a man, and a man's got to take it. Like the whole thing. Yeah. Um.
yeah, it's like you have Kreese, you want to be, and then
Yeah.
Johnny, a man. Like, it's just cutting like
Right. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Hmm.
Are you upset or just like we'll get another season about you're the best around not being at the tournament?
I never expected it to be. So it wasn't something I expected. I've always thought they're going to save that song for somewhere near, if not at the end of the series. This is not the end of the series, so we weren't going to get that song. I didn't expect it.
Did you like the Carrie Underwood cameo though?
It was fine. I enjoyed it. I know some people are like, oh, it was cringy or something. I didn't necessarily feel that. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Zach Robinson was in the chat of my live stream, and I asked him how they got it, and he's like, "Oh, kind of like the Netflix effect." And she has a great voice. I felt like, as I'll say in my review here that I just recorded, like I feel like it was what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of covering over some of the limitations of how they did the tournament. Like the tournament didn't actually feel as big, especially so her singing was all like the preliminary rounds, and I felt like it was kind of like covering over that. So I felt like we got less tournament or a smaller tournament in exchange for Carrie Underwood, which I'm not sure I'm okay with that deal, but for her in itself was okay.
Yeah, I actually watched your live reaction. Like I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched it a little, and I did hear you mention that the tournament feeling smaller, and I definitely see what you mean.
Mhm.
Now, not that this is an excuse, but one of the reasons why it did was probably, the mats, all those like what the I don't know what you call them, but like, all the smaller mats for the other fights.
Like
Um
the preliminary matches and stuff,
yeah.
like the mats and stuff. Yeah, they was just well, like in a realistic thing, I think they shot it in a different location. I don't know why. I suspected maybe a little bit there might have been some COVID things, like they didn't have any shots or really many shots up from the audience where they had these deep back shots and you got a big feel of the whole. I don't know if that was because of COVID or just it was the location they were able to get to shoot at. I don't know any of that. But it did feel like it just for being the biggest tournament ever, it actually felt kind of small. And I actually got some messages from some other people and creators who are like, "Oh my god, that's exactly what I felt too." That sort of feeling about the tournament, like it was a little bit claustrophobic. Like their literal location they were shooting was smaller, and so like there was just less. Everything was more condensed.
Yeah, so okay, wait. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't this the same location where Daniel took Sam in season 3 episode 7, but it wasn't the same location from the first All Valley, is that?
Well, in show, it's the All Valley Sports Arena in show, but in reality, I don't know if they shot it at the same place. I don't think so. Like where they literally shot it in Atlanta, but as far as the show is concerned, it was always the same place, the All Valley Sports Arena. So yes,
In real life, I'm pretty sure it was the same place where I'm pretty sure it was definitely, or I don't know. I remember seeing like, what did I see? It was the thingy at the top of the railing. It said all that. I don't know. It looked like, I think it
it
was
said
from
All
season.
Valley Sports Arena. Yeah, I mean they put the signs up, but
Yeah.
I think where they literally shot it might have been a different spot. Um,
Well, I think another reason why it probably felt smaller was because they had wasn't the big stage up the whole entire time.
yeah, 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 it was like the setup was very different. So, and that definitely contributed to it.
Yeah, so unlike Karate Kid and season 1 where they had
Mm,
all the little mats set up and then they
yeah.
brought in the big stage, that
Hmm.
they had that stage there the whole time, so I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons for
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I definitely it was something I was like trying to look past, but it's there. It's
Hmm.
there. It's
Hmm.
even with the audience, with season 1, um you feel like it's just so three-dimensional. Like you
Right.
the
Yeah.
camera could go in any direction and you feel like you're at the tournament, but with this it might have been a little too back and forth between audience fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially since we were at the tournament more. So there's only so many different ways they can shoot it and get different angles for the different things. Yeah. So, it's
Didn't
not the biggest deal. It's just something, you pick up on when you're watching.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I was watching it for a second time and like, you just have to give them props for all these different camera angles that they are able to get
Hmm.
because there's so much going on. They have
Hmm.
the audience, they have the fighters, they have the dojos on the sidelines, and they're getting all these reactions, all these
Hmm.
different angles, these close-ups like during the fighting, the stunt
Hmm.
doubles, all of it. So I mean, it definitely does not look easy, and they're probably under a lot of restrictions with COVID, shooting schedule,
Hmm.
all that stuff. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I did think, just talking about camera angles, something I hadn't been able to mention really, but like the shots at the Cobra Kai dojo in the first episode and throughout this season, like they found new camera angles. It's something I even noticed when I watched the first episode on like the episode 1 premiere. It's like we're seeing like the room in different spots. I almost feel like part of it is since they ended up closing that dojo, they wanted to get some different looks at the dojo that they had never done before. But yeah, they have done a good job of like taking rooms we've been in many times and finding new ways to look at it essentially.
yeah, I never thought about that until you just brought it up. That's a good point. I thought probably the one of the most funny camera angles, but also just menacing was I think it was I can't remember the episode number. It might have been 7, but I'm not sure. When they were doing the sparring, the Cobra Kais, they were all in their new Cobra Kai gear, and Robbie was fighting Kenny, and Kenny like got that like the hit on Robbie, and
Mhm.
when Kenny was talking to Silver, they have the over the shoulder shots, but Silver is so tall that the shots like
Kenny's so short, yeah.
it was so jarring. It's like usually with the over the shoulder shots, just right over to the next person.
Mhm.
This one was
Mm.
it's looking down at him. It's like the
Right,
cameraman was
yeah.
probably like so high up in the air.
Standing on a ladder probably, yeah, to look down.
Yeah, yeah. They really I know one of them said this in an interview. They didn't hide the fact that Silver is 6 whatever he is.
Yeah, like he's tall, like 6'4" or something, I don't know. But yeah, definitely big. Yeah, they liked that. They were gonna relish in it. Especially someone like Ralph is actually kind of short. They were gonna make hay of Silver being a lot taller.
Yeah. I thought some of those shots at the tournament with Kreese and Silver, and Silver just having such a height advantage,
Hmm.
just menacing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally so much to talk about.
Hmm.
But what do you think about Terry Silver, his arc from episodes 1 to 10, and what it sets up for season 5?
It's so it went more or less once we saw the trailer and you got an idea of where you think it's going to go. So it definitely went the way I was expecting. He's a guy who has completely separated himself, and then he feels the call, right? The call from Kreese, and it brings him back. but like he's running the dojo a little bit differently than Kreese. You know, he's being a little bit more reasonable. You know, his lessons are a little bit more reasonable. You know, he's like telling his don't fight on the tournament, save it, you know, make it, use it for when it counts, you know, don't just strike back and whatever. You know, everything seems a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, actually, these are good lessons. You know, it's not like evil Cobra Kai. It's like it makes sense Cobra Kai and stuff. But then he's going down in the slow descent, and then you get the scene, you know, where like it was minefields, right? So that's episode 7 where Kreese kind of just reestablishes control over him, and then he kind of goes a little bit crazy again, and I think he's back on the cocaine, and then he lures Johnny into the dojo and starts beating him up because he thinks that's what Kreese wants, you know. Oh, this will make Kreese happy with me, and then by the end, you know, he's going full Cobra Kai now, and in Cobra Kai you shed your weakness, right? And he realizes Kreese is his weakness. So he's going to shed his weakness and get rid of Kreese and take it over for himself, because that's what you do in Cobra Kai. So yeah, it's a delight, a story arc, you know, beginning, middle, and end, and every step of the way. You know, even if you see it coming, it's still just an enjoyment to experience it on the path. So, and Thomas Ian Griffith is amazing. I've said it a number of times. He's so athletic. He can still kick so high and kick butt, and his performances is amazing.
Yeah, I thought the whole arc with him was one of the best parts of season 4. I was not expecting, you know, when we saw that first episode, I was honestly in shock of how nice he was.
Exactly.
He was normal, and
right.
He even references, I tormented a kid over a karate tournament. It sounds crazy when you say it out loud. Like
it sounds crazy even saying it out loud. Yeah, it's like if I say the plot of Karate Kid Out 3, it sounds ridiculous.
Daniel and Miyagi opened the bonsai store. It sounds crazy when you say it out loud. Daniel only had to fight in 1 round.
You only had to fight in 1 round. Yeah, that's a good moment.
You could like get like so many memes and like put Terry Silver. It sounds crazy when you say it out loud. But yeah, you know, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, like Terry Silver, I'm expecting him just to be just this insane guy. We knew like he had that look when he was looking at Kreese. I did think, okay, maybe he'll say no at first, and then I honestly thought like he would come back at the end of episode 1, but they really prolonged that arc, which
they stretched it a little. Then he wasn't in episode 2 at all, and then it's episode 3. He's like, it's like it was building inside him. Like you can see it. Like it was the seed was planted and it was growing and building inside him, and he couldn't shake it. So
yeah, and it felt so real. Like none of it felt forced. You know, it's just him. Like even like the scene of him just sitting down, you know, by himself, like, and then you know getting the PTSD of the war, and then just coming back into the dojo, like all that stuff. And okay, we have to talk about the freaking ponytail scene. I did not expect that scene to be what it was. The music and all of it, it was just like it was representation, you know. Silver is back, like
right. They nailed it from the beginning. You know, he pulls out the ponytail. It's like he keeps a spare ponytail on in case of emergency, or a headband or whatever, and then puts it on and his hair back.
Did you like? Yeah.
What were you saying? I was just saying, yeah, he puts it on, and it, you know, and it brings him back to where he was before, you know, like even back in the, what was it, 1975, where the flashback scene, we saw them, which was interesting, that one too. You know, we see Silver, and he's the Silver we knew is still there inside.
Yeah. Like I thought what they did with the whoever's choice it was with the music, I don't know if it was Zach and Leo or the editors, but it was like a eerie. You know what I mean? It was kind of faded out when he first like reaches for it. It sounded like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
you know,
think, yeah, wasn't that some of the theme? I don't remember that scene. Was it the theme from Karate Kid 3 that they were playing? I think they were reusing the music, the score there.
yeah, it was just, it was kind of, I don't know if, did you notice it was like kind of muffled out, like when he was first like reaching into the drawer. It was like, it was a little muffled, kind of like a horror music. And then I don't know if you noticed when the camera like panned and revealed him, there was like a like,
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't pick up. Sometimes I can't pick up on the music cues for a few watches like that. But
you got to watch
like,
that scene again and
okay, I'm gonna
listen
watch
for that.
for the music. Yeah.
Listen, just listen to the music and like all the like the sound effects. It's like, it sounds like this, like this scene just came out of a horror movie. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And also like the whole scene of him like coming into the dojo that we saw in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite lines. I don't know if I'm getting it word for word, but like, why couldn't you let sleeping dogs lie or something? What was it? Right?
Yeah, something like, yeah. The whole scene is amazing. He walks in, he's like, "You son of a bitch!"
Yeah.
The whole scene, it takes you off guard, and you just love it. Like, yeah. Like I said, I've said many times, especially the first half, I was enjoying it so much, and that scene was amazing. I was enjoying that scene so much, um, and then he's still arguing with Kreese, but Kreese is like, "No, you belong here," and Kreese has got Silver where he wants him. So
He opened I always say he opened Pandora's box by recruiting him. He didn't know it, but
yeah,
did
he did.
did you expect, okay, because I mean, I had theories that in season 5 at the end, or I thought in season 5 it would be like the setup of, I thought this season Kreese and Silver would be best buds. I thought next season would be, okay, now you're gonna see them start to kind of um antagonize with each other a bit, and then at the end Silver betrays Kreese. I was not expecting it this season when they were like bickering, because they never really got on the same page. I don't think there was a single moment of friendship. Even Johnny and Kreese had more friendship in season 2, I feel, and more camaraderie. So did you expect the betrayal like this season, like right away?
I kind of did, and I expected it to go further even, because I was expecting, Kree or Silver, this descent where he would end up back to sort of the madman of Karate Kid 3. And then I was thinking about it when I was thinking about like what we've seen in Cobra Kai, and we saw like Kreese take the dojo from Johnny. And then before that, we saw like Kreese, even kill Captain Turner as like the beginning of Cobra Kai. And so I felt like there's this thing where you kill the person who has it now, or take out the person who has it now and take it for yourself. And so I did think Silver was going to do that. I mean, I didn't even know if Silver was going to openly fight Kreese. I thought he may. So it didn't go that way. It went a different way. Which is interesting because Silver gets Kreese arrested, but what happens when Kreese gets out? It's like he almost showed Kreese mercy, and maybe he'll live that, or he'll regret that in the future. But yeah, I was expecting some sort of betrayal. It happened differently than how I thought, for sure. But yeah, I was expecting something like this for Silver to seize control somehow.
My mind can't like wrap around episode 8. I think episode 8 is my
Party
favorite.
time.
I think that's my favorite episode. I think
Some
it's my
people have
favorite.
said that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for 2 right now, but I know some people have definitely said people love the prom party time. What part of that episode do you like the most, or just what is it you love about it so much?
Well, okay, so the part I love most is all the Silver Johnny Kreese stuff. That's my
Mhm.
favorite, but I have to say when I saw that group photo in the beginning
Oh,
of the LaRussos,
the
the
LaRusso.
Diazes. You even had Lucille and Anthony and Louis
And
and
Louis in there with his arm
Johnny.
around Anthony. Yeah.
I that that warmed my heart so much. It was just everybody coming together, and
Yeah.
it was like a family,
So
you know? It
it
was
feels like you're looking at end game there. Like this is end game. Just maybe throw in Robbie and
yeah.
Robbie's because Robbie will be back in with Johnny, so you can throw in Robbie, and you're looking at like the end game,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I also loved Julia Macchio as cousin Vanessa. Yeah, could totally tell she was loving that role.
She was great. She was
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
I'm so like I'm just glad that they finally acknowledged how crappy they've been at being parents. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
We've all been saying like literally it's always, is Sam okay? Is we gotta protect Sam, we gotta watch out for Sam. And it's like, I'm like, bro, you have a son, and literally now they're finally like why do you think you love your daughter more than your son? I'm
why
like,
do you love your
thank you.
daughter more than your son?
I love
This
it.
is the test. This is the test.
It's so great.
Yeah.
He'll be a big part of season 5. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to expand a lot. I made a post about the scroll too. He was even looking at because someone translated it for me. It's about like the heart of a dragon. So interesting to see. So what does that bode for Anthony? And people say how Mr. Miyagi said maybe one day he'll be the one protecting the family or whatever the exact line is. So
It's to make up for the fact that Mr. Miyagi didn't mention that Anthony makes him feel like a grandfather.
right.
They totally
Anthony. And that's a good scene where Anthony is that in episode 7 though, but where yeah, I think it is where Anthony doesn't
yeah.
never knew him Miyagi. And so he just feels like he's out of the loop, right? He, never knew it, never. It's like whatever, this doesn't mean anything to me. And so you understand the lack of connection he had.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved all that, and like the whole season you're like rooting for Anthony to just win at something or kind of just have a good moment, and then episode 9 or no, it was episode 8. He has the freaking iPad under his bed.
Yeah,
He doesn't learn, and that scene was so great. Daniel yelling, breaking the iPad and yelling quiet, like
yeah. Daniel
oh
had to channel his inner Johnny, basically,
yes.
to get.
And I loved how Amanda was like, whatever Miyagi magic you used, it worked. And then, he's like, yeah, Miyagi, sure. So, it was great. So I think if anyone in the chat has any questions, we could answer some questions. That'll kind of lead to the discussion. There's so much. Like we have the finale. We got, I'm sure you talk about Silver all day, Oh, but to go back to episode 8 really quickly. Just that's for betraying your sensei. Like I just all of that was so cool. Johnny using Miyagi-Do, and there was that side shot. I think you know what I'm talking about. That side shot where Silver's punching him and like smiling, and then Johnny's defending. Like just all of that. Kreese, getting his redemption.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. And, I'm just sitting here thinking that they're going back to the old dojo. I assume they built that on their set. So that they basically have a new set now that's going to mimic the original dojo. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting feels just going back into there. And definitely that scene was as creepy as the stuff in Karate Kid 3. And, it's the Silver descent. That's where, like he's back to where he was. You haven't seen it all yet, but you're seeing it right now for the first time, and creepy. And then it triggers Kreese. So Kreese is now the one. It's like they flip the script, and now Kreese is the one. Like, hey, we don't need to do that. Let's save it for the tournament. that's what he says. Like, you know, we agreed to settle this at the tournament, so that's what we're going to do. But now, so it's now Kreese who's kind of holding back.
It kind of reminded me of season 2. You had that whole thing of Johnny, like, no mercy, show your enemy no mercy, and then Robbie goes to fight, and it's like, okay, like, we don't need to fight dirty, enough of this, you know. And it's kind of like, you know, Hawk has that line, show no mercy unless it's his son. So even though Kreese kind of changes his heart at the tournament, in that moment, that's what it was. Because if that were anyone else, I don't think he would necessarily be saying that. It's Johnny Lawrence, his weakness. Johnny
His
Lawrence.
weakness. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
That's his weakness.
So great. That final scene with them, just like, even like at first I actually thought, because I don't know, like, and listen, I don't think this is too far fetched because, you know, just how crazy the show's getting, but I thought when Silver poured Kreese's drink, he poured the drink for him and Kreese, you know, they did the cheers.
It was poisoned.
I thought he drugged him or something. I didn't think he killed him, but I thought he drugged him because Kreese took a sip and then Silver just put it down. So I thought
Silver didn't take his, yeah.
You know what
I didn't think so, because you do see Silver opening the bottle. So it seemed unlikely to me.
Okay.
So I never thought that. I didn't know what to expect. Well, I strongly suspected something because they were talking about getting the detective from the stingray scene. So I didn't quite know. I wasn't expecting poison. You know, it's too pussy of a way to kill someone.
No, I was thinking like more like just drug him. Yeah, like, I don't know. But
yeah, even then it seems like too pussy of a way. But we'll see. Yeah, I wasn't exactly, so I didn't think that. But definitely you knew something was going to go down. So
yeah. We could talk a little Star Wars, right? I mean, it's kind of, Zurround says it's like in Star Wars when even Darth Vader would not kill his own son. You know, this is the Kreese is like Darth Vader, and then Johnny's Luke, and Silver's like the Emperor. You're getting that whole arc. So I guess that just leaves the question of, even though the Emperor never got redeemed, do you think Silver has any redemption arc in him or no?
You know, it's interesting because, you know, we saw him in a way already redeemed. We even saw him kind of like apologizing to Daniel for what happened in Karate Kid 3, you know, or trying to explain it and say, you know what, that wasn't me, and all that. So we know it's in him. So since maybe it had already happened, maybe it doesn't happen again. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't at the moment. I think maybe not. I think you know, we saw him reformed, you know, he's off the drugs and a philanthropist, and, you know, hosting parties for a mindfulness app where people eat tofu, and so like we saw like that side of him, but that was always the fake him. So the, you know, the Cobra came out again, so to speak. So yeah, I don't necessarily know if Silver's in for another redemption.
That is interesting that you bring that up. I never thought about that when that question came up, because even Thomas Ian Griffith did an interview where he answered that question: can he be redeemed? And I never thought about the fact that, like, he technically was redeemed for like 5 episodes. He was a good guy. He was teaching Cobra Kai in a better way than Kreese was. You know, it was
like these are things you wouldn't mind being, you know, don't be crazy. Save it, you know, save the fight for when it counts, you know, save it for when you do it. And then he's, you know, and even had another lesson where he's like, you know, well, it's like, make your enemy think what you want, war, business, and a fight, you know, he's applying it to different parts in life and stuff. So yeah. that. We did see redeemed Silver.
Yeah, so now he's just going. Now he's just turning more and more to the dark side. He's kind of like, did you get Joker vibes at the end when he's doing the whole orchestra thing, conductor? I don't know.
I see the connection, but to me, it's just more Terry Silver vibes. It's just straight. It's Terry Silver is his own thing. Like there's a similarity to like this sort of the craziness of the Joker, but I think Terry Silver is his own entity. So,
yeah. I have to let me ask you this: who was your most improved character? So you have like in sports, you have the most improved player award, the player who gets from one season to the next season they get better. Who is your most improved character?
well, improved in what way?
Or your like maybe a favorite, like someone who maybe you didn't really like before, and then you're like, wow, they actually had a great season.
Well, I mean, I'll answer the question a few different ways. Like, definitely just like character who grew the most just as a character. We'll say Anthony, because he was basically non-existent for 2 seasons and kind of an annoying kid in the first season. So definitely we got a great arc for him. So that's a great improvement, like in that sense. And he has a great beginning, middle, of end. And we're looking forward to where he goes next, even now. And it's a rehashing of the Karate Kid story, in a new way, in a new generation now between him and Kenny. I also really liked Kenny. He was a new character. I liked Kenny. I liked Kenny a little bit more than I liked some of the scenes, because I felt like sometimes I feel like the plot points are being forced a little bit, but other than that, so I liked Anthony in that way, that improvement. I loved Hawk's storyline, where he was so far in Cobra Kai and he lost all touch of who he was, and then has been gaining himself back. I even would think, Hawk wins episode 1, where it was his idea to come build the sparring platform and stuff like that. So I really like that. I wish there was more to his story. I feel like, like for the All Valley champion, he had kind of a light season. It's kind of like episode 1, a little bit episodes 5 and 6, and then episodes 9 and 10. Otherwise there's a lot of times he's not doing a whole lot, but definitely Hawk improved a lot like that.
Yeah.
Also then like the depth that I think we needed it came from Tory. Tory always felt so shallow, and I mean, because I think it was, I mean, maybe you're like, okay, maybe there's stuff there, but we can't quite feel it. It just seems so one dimensional. And I think seeing Tori here, you got a little bit of a better feel of her character, a little bit understanding of that sort of quick to temper, quick to anger. So I really think it helped flesh her out a little bit more, just to so she can feel a little bit more 3-dimensional. Her going to Amanda, the problems with her mom, and then, her aunt. And so she's got these fears about, her, not getting custody of her brother and all that. So Tori, in that sense, where, again, a character who was there a lot, but felt so one-dimensional still. So that growth into 3-dimensionals for Tori.
Yeah. So for me, it's by far Tori out of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually my favorite from the whole season, along with Terry Silver. And I mean, I thought in season 2, she was great. I thought she was a great new character. Then we get to the school fight, and I'm like, okay, she's actually a psycho. So I was like, okay,
yes.
It turned me off from her character. I was like, okay, now it's like,
Yeah,
it's
that
not
was
even,
my first impression on her, actually.
yeah,
Calling her a psycho. It was actually nice for me just where Sam actually called her a psycho. I see, Sam watches my videos because I said Tori was a psycho.
No, I mean, like, listen, there's a difference between like Hawk doing Cobra Kai and Tory, who like is trying to kill someone by bringing a knife thing to school. So, then in season 3, we got that second episode where it's like, okay, now you're starting to connect with her home life and all that. But then after that, they kind of just abandoned that story, and I'm like,
Yeah, they
damn.
got dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so upset because I really, I was connecting with her for one scene, and then after that I never connected with her. And then she starts the LaRusso house fight, and I'm like, okay, she's by far the most crazy person. There's no as you said, it was very one-dimensional. There's no I know some people like her as a character, but for me personally, I could not resonate with her on
Yeah,
any level.
you couldn't attach to it, and she's almost a little sadistic in that, as I said, where she's just like it's like she wants to beat Sam up. Okay, Sam's on the ground, she could go kick her and stomp her or whatever, but instead she goes and gets the nunchucks. I'm gonna have to have my own fun. This is too easy, and it's like she's almost just straight up sadistic at that point. Like I just want to crush you and pummel you for my own pleasure. Yeah, and it's so one dimensional, but right. For some reason, I think finally in 4, it became a little bit 3-dimensional, right? So there's something you can grasp, and even though you don't necessarily approve of it, you can understand it, you can grasp onto it of what's going on.
Yeah, I thought the key to her story was Amanda.
Hmm.
From because going into season 4, I was just looking forward to seeing other characters. I'll be honest, I wasn't looking
Hmm.
at season 4 saying, "Oh, Tori's gonna have a great season. She's gonna have a great arc." I really didn't know what to expect from her. I just thought, okay, seasons 2 through 3, she's been absolutely nuts. So we'll probably just keep going with that. She'll be trying to kill Sam in the All Valley, but to see what they did, like with Amanda, caring for Tori despite everything she's done, and Tori kind of resenting it, and then to see Tori, like Amanda tell Tori, like, don't, you know like, kind of help her out, but then, like, Tori can't really hurt Sam at the party, and you feel, and then it's Tori doing a job is that's not her first choice of jobs, is working at a kids party, and you have
Right,
Sam
right,
there. Sam's actually the bully in that scene, kind of
right.
tearing her down,
Yeah.
instead of kind of sympathizing with her, which you get it. I mean, the girl did try to kill you, so it's like I don't really fault Sam for that, because I mean, like, was it mean? Yes, but like at the same time though, this is the girl who tried to kill you, so it's not.
Yeah, I would actually say really should Amanda should have just told Sam, just stay away from her. Don't talk to her. Just go away. Like you got to keep these two apart. So I was like, it's a little bit on Amanda. She should have just told them to stay apart. Um, but she let Sam do that. Yeah, definitely. You understand Sam coming from that, just kind of like, just Sam just has to let it out in some way, and so she does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, then we just, as we get further along, I think the turning point of um the whole thing, probably where I really, connected with Tori, was when she went to the LaRusso house.
Mhm.
She had nowhere else to go. She
Mhm.
needed Amanda, and Amanda was there to help her. And then, um, you know, even though Tori still doesn't like Sam, she agreed to not hurt her because Amanda was helping her. And then it got to the point where when you get to the tournament, it's like, after Tori wins, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And Sam's like, "What? What?" I
It's
thought it
the
was
first time,
so
yeah, it's the first time Tori ever asked her if she was okay.
it was
Um,
so good. It was
mhm,
just the whole arc of it. Like,
mhm,
because here I never thought I would resonate with Tori, and
mhm,
going into the season, I just didn't have anything in my head telling me, okay, I'm gonna like Tori. So her arc was a complete surprise for me,
mhm,
and she was definitely my most improved character. And because her change was that good, she
mhm,
was she was probably like my second favorite or first favorite. Terry Silver and Tori, I think,
mhm.
were. I never thought I would say Tori is my favorite. but she just really like, and Painless killed it, like always. She really killed it.
She
And then,
did. I feel like for the first time she was given more to work with. I always felt like Peyton didn't have much to work with in season 2 and season 3, and but I was glad. Yeah, I think she got a little bit more to work with, and it really connected. So definitely, yeah, Painless really brought it. And Amanda too. We got a little bit of Amanda backstory. Just there was times when she was a kind of an angry teenage girl. So, and seeing that and just a little bit of that understanding.
yeah. And I've always thought, whenever would see a Miguel Robbie scene, I'm like, damn, I wish the two of them could be friends. When I saw Sam and Tori in season 2 and 3, I never really had that in my head. Like, oh, I wish they could just put aside their differences. Season 4, the whole season, I'm like, come on, like, why can't they just be friends? Like I know a lot of people like say to Daniel and Johnny, why can't they just be friends? I felt that in season 4 with Tori and Sam, which I never did. I thought they did a great job of fleshing out both their arcs. And we could get into Sam if you want, because I also thought she had a really good season,
Mhm.
with the whole Eagle Fang Miyagi-Do balance. She was probably, out of all of the students, would you say she probably learned the most from both sides and kind of implemented? She was more about bringing both sides together than I think anybody.
She and Hawk. But yeah, definitely, I think she had the most to gain. Um, she had, some of her most relatable moments. I think the scene when I guess it's the LaRusso dinner and the Diaz is over, so they're all over there together, and then Daniel and Amanda, like have her life planned out, and she's kind of like, well, maybe I don't want to do that. Those are some really relatable moments that Sam has really never had. Sort of those things you can really relate to. So definitely she had those moments, and then her just trying to seek out on her own, step out on her own, and then she goes to Johnny, and um, it's not quite easy at first, but she kind of takes a little bit of a liking to Johnny and thinks there's something to learn from him, partially just because he's not her father. And that's something else she wants. She wants to see what else is out there other than what my parents put in front of me. And those are very relatable moments. So they're definitely, yeah, really good moments.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought, when Sam called Johnny, and it was episode 3, she's like getting mad at him. You're a 50-year-old man.
Mhm.
I forget the whole line, but she was
Lives at
going off.
home, drinks all day or something, lives by herself, drinks all day, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you expect him to respond like, kind of like snarky back at her, but his response, I thought, was one of the most beautiful Johnny Lawrence lines or speeches
Mhm.
of the whole show. It was probably the most, like, just like, I get to do what I love every single damn day, teaching you kids, like helping you guys. And I just found that response, because Johnny, what, you look at him from, like, just look at him from season 1, episode 6. Demetri, messing with his temper. He's uh he's not a teacher who could give us a bad grade. It's not like
Mhm.
he can. We're paying him. He works for us. Like, he can't actually hurt us. And then Johnny, it launches a trigger in his head.
Right.
And he's like, hit me. He goes off on him. Like, even when Daniel is in episode 7 with the All Valley board, like, this guy was the worst back, and he wants to beat him up, but that now you have Sam. It shows how far he's come. Sam is literally telling him the truth, but at the same time, like, if anybody else has said that to him in the past, I mean, I think if anybody else said that to him in general, he would probably beat them up. But it shows he's come a long way by
Or he would respond with something snarky right back or something. But definitely
yeah.
he's grown in a way, and he responds with exactly what would convince Sam. Hit me or whatever wouldn't work with Sam. Something snarky back wouldn't work with her. But he kind of finds her weakness, and he knows exactly what connects to her, I because in many ways when he was young, he had a rich stepdad, and like it seemed like his parents or his stepdad or whatever, they had a life planned out for him that he didn't want. He was in kind of a similar situation to Sam, believe it or not. He growing up in a wealthy family or whatever, but he knew. So in a way there was that connection there, even though you don't even realize it. And so what he said was something that actually really connected to her. She doesn't want to just live this life her dad laid out for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Instead of just, I think he mentioned, my parents wanted me to just put on a suit
Yeah,
and
I'd been
work every
going
day.
to suit and yeah, just waiting for it to pass or whatever the exact line was, something like that. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So and that's a good point. I also thought that the dinner scene in episode 2 was it was a very small scene, but it made it a lot more realistic for these characters. Sometimes, the story gets so extreme with, the All Valley tournament. It gets like out of this world, that sometimes scenes like that ground the show, which I think is very important. That was season 1 was like the whole season was very grounded. So I think it's important,
Mhm.
even though we're going to get more extreme throughout the seasons. We kind of
Right.
know this with Silver, with Chosen. We know it's going to get like all these fights, all these battles. It's important to always have those scenes and go back to the key of the show. Like what brought us all to the show and what makes the show special is not those extreme scenes, but the little scenes, like the dinner
Mhm.
scene where they're all talking about college. I was getting so emotional. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, I felt like these were
That's
my
kind of a
children.
time of your life too. I know, yeah, are certainly connecting to that.
Yeah.
That sort of you've been through that, in that moment. So definitely, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot that's relatable there. Whether you're relating to Sam there, or maybe you're relating to Miguel or something like, well, both sides. But yeah, definitely, that's a scene that's very relatable.
Yeah, and I thought the whole Miguel Daniel um discussion, I believe it was episode 3, the the discussion about, Miguel was so insecure because he just felt like he wasn't good enough for Sam because he didn't have money. He thought maybe he'd go to community college, and then I love like Daniel being so honest with him, telling him, "I didn't even go to college and
Right.
I spent all my savings." I thought that was so great because here you have Miguel who looks up to Daniel. This is a guy who is skilled in karate. He's my sensei. He's a master of martial arts. He has all this backstory with Mr. Miyagi. He has a successful business with his car dealership. He has a beautiful family. This is a guy who I look up to and who I want to be. And to hear that he didn't go to college, that he blew all his savings. I think that's just really, you could tell in Miguel's eyes that was, um, it gave him hope that, he
Right.
didn't have to, be like, he didn't have to like stress himself out by if he didn't go to the best school, or he didn't have to worry about these things because
Yeah.
he could take a different path and still get to the place that he wants to be in
Yeah.
life. So,
He's worried about, being accepted by their family and belonging. And then he realized, maybe he's more like Daniel than he thought. I like that because I've strongly suspected for a long time Daniel didn't go to college because of the way it went in the movie and such, and what the way they said it in the show. It seemed like, the bonsai tree store wasn't doing good, so Daniel started selling cars, and that's how it went. So that's pretty much, it seems like, yeah, that's now what happened with Daniel. And he was been very successful. So I do, yeah, and I like that, and I've always wondered. I always thought maybe Sam would want to skip college because of that. I don't know about that, but definitely, we'll see. It's yeah, it's just, just made it very relatable. Like I said, on both ends, you most people could probably relate. Not everyone, but one or the other. Either like you got your family like planning something that you should do this and this and this, you relating to Sam, or maybe you're relating to Miguel, where like, well, I'm hoping to do this, I'm hoping to do that. Do you think that's worthy enough for them? Are you worthy enough for these people? I don't know. So
Yeah. And I think that's gonna they're gonna explore that more in the future. The kids are definitely getting older. Probably had wait. So they're going into their senior year.
yeah, so they just finished their junior year. At least I hope they finished their junior year because Miguel already left for Mexico. So I don't,
Yeah, yeah, you could say well, you could technically they could make season 5 in the summer. Oh yeah, he already wait. Oh yeah, what about school? Wait. Wait.
yeah, I know. Did school end? Yeah, it's something I was thinking, and I just decided, as luck be have it, the school ended the day before the All Valley tournament. That's just like because he
Wait.
took off.
Wait, do you actually know this?
Well, no, I'm just assuming.
Oh, oh, oh.
I'm just assuming. They like to waive the sort of it's a little fuzzy on the dates and stuff, but um,
Yeah. Wait, that's actually interesting because I mean, you could kiss college goodbye if you're gonna miss that many days, unless he's like, okay, I'm gonna go there Friday. No, but it's like a drive. It's gonna take how long would it take? Days to just get up there, right?
a little bit of while, yeah, since he's taking the bus,
He's taking the bus.
but we'll assume I'm assuming the school year was done. They're West Valley High ends a little bit early there in May, apparently. So
Wait, no, but school ends in June. End of June. They can't just
yeah, it depends. My high school usually went to like the last week of May, give or take.
really.
So it was like May 20th, I think was the day of the tournament. So like I said, it is a little bit early. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I mean, we know he left right after the tournament. We know that for sure.
Yeah, because he didn't even go home. So in Lefton Hote. So yeah, definitely it was that day. It was a Saturday. I think it was May 20th, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, if hopefully school's over, because I mean,
Otherwise,
any
yeah.
any chance of going to college is like he was already like struggling. He was like, oh damn, I really want to get into college, and now it's like, bro, your chances are you think you could like just miss school.
Yeah, they aren't going to look favorably on it. That's for sure.
So you think season 5 is going to take place in the summer? Is it going to go into the school year? Or do you think it's going to be kind of a season 2? Just
I think it's like a more of like a season 2, is what I'm thinking.
cruel summer.
Yeah. So, cause I think we got Miguel heading after his dad, and then that storyline with Johnny and or Robbie, and then stuff, whatever happens in the summer. So we'll see.
I think you responded to me when I posted this, but I posted like a tweet from an article. This was like a couple months back, I think, and it was like this random article that said Chosen is returning in season 5, and it was the most weirdest looking article. And I posted it.
Oh,
I
I
was
think
like,
I remember it. Yeah.
I was
I
like,
think
I
I
was like,
just looking that up. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, I posted it, and I was like, is this real? Because it looks so fake. And then I forgot what you said. I don't think you said yes, but I don't think you said no. I think you said I don't remember what you said, but um, did you? Okay, people were saying they knew he was going to be in in season 4. Like I thought he wasn't coming back at all. I thought he was like I thought maybe if he were to come back, it would be for like a cameo again.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be in 4, and essentially he wasn't. He was really the tease at the end. I had heard rumors or whatever that Yuji was down in Atlanta shooting season 5. But then I was thinking, okay, that's season 5, and that informed my thinking about season 4 a little bit, which I think was more or less correct, because I think season 5, Cobra Kai is expanding across the valley, and I think Daniel's going to expand Miyagi-Do to compete with it. So we'll see. And then he's got Chosen to help him. So we'll see how that goes. But Yeah, I had suspected he may be back for season 5, not necessarily season 4. But
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of plot lines in season 5. That's for sure.
yeah, we had a lot of plot lines in season 4. I mean, maybe almost too many. So we'll
I
see
think.
how season 5 handles it all.
Well, I think season 5 now it's gonna even be more because for the first half of season 4 it was Daniel and Johnny's dojo. Now you have Johnny, Robbie, Miguel. In Mexico, you have the middle school kids, you have Daniel and Chosen, and then you have Silver, not to mention the students.
Mhm. Right.
So, but you see, I think they did a good job balancing it. Like, I do have to say, I know, you even mentioned Hawk slash Eli. Um, there was a little left out of his story. I get what you're saying. I think like you just want to see so much with all the characters.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think they did a good job of balancing all of them. The episodes were pretty long this season. They could always do more. I'm never gonna say do less episodes. Like
Right, right.
I'm always in favor of that. So
Yeah, I do. I mean, we'll see what they're doing for season 5. It just feels like they've reached the outer limits of what they can do with this format. 10 episodes, approximately a half hour each. They're all running over a half hour now, so they're really kind of pushing it beyond. So, if the show, it's just I don't know if it can keep getting bigger and bigger because you're already kind of pushed to the outer limits of what you can do, just realistically in the time allotted. So we'll see.
yeah, exactly. And I hope with Kenny and Anthony's storyline because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but when you had that final scene of Kenny, telling Robbie no mercy and Robbie like realized he created a monster, we kind of already saw that with Miguel. It was the same thing just told through another character. So even though I really enjoyed the arc of it, I thought the arc was even though it was similar, I felt it was different. It was just that end scene. I'm like, okay, this is similar, or now this is very similar to Miguel's story. So hopefully season 5 they kind of um change it up a bit. They don't kind of just do the same thing. And hopefully I'd I hopefully they don't introduce hopefully this is the last time they're gonna introduce a new character and do that story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think for this show anyway. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna keep retelling that story, but I mean, I think they've had Anthony there kind of in the background for so long, and they've kind of intending to bring him in for this sort of second act boost, sort of like if the show is kind of moving into its second act, with Miguel and the other characters kind of moving into new storylines for themselves, and now they're stronger in karate. Sort of bring in Anthony now for that second act kick to sort of reconnect to the roots, is the way they describe it in interviews.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My theory on where I think they're gonna go with the whole show, I think and they definitely set it up in season 4 with Robbie being a mentor to the Cobra Kai's, teaching them Miyagi Do. And I know you saw this in season 5. I noticed this right away in that Andrew Garfield video when they were on the set of season 5. Tory was wearing a black gi.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I mean, there's no tournament going on, so black gis are usually what the
The
sensei
teachers.
figures. Yeah, the senseis wear. So, I mean, listen. So I think they're gonna eventually get up to that point where it's gonna be once the kids are old enough, or they're old, they're not at that age where they could compete in the tournament. I think we're gonna meet a new generation and now have the Miguel's, Sam, Robbie mentor the younger generation. Maybe there'll be another All Valley. I think this would
Mhm.
be like at the end, but now there's a twist and it's Miguel, Robbie, Sam. They're the senseis to this new generation. Maybe Kenny, Anthony, Devin, and some new characters that we meet.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think as they grow, they'll start taking on those teaching roles. For Tori in particular, seeing how it ends and seeing where her story is, I do think Silver's expanding Cobra Kai. I think he's gonna put her on the payroll. So I think, and that's kind of where that's going. It's good for her because then that's a good stable job of, something she likes to do. So, it's better than working that kids party and at the roller rink. So, it's in a way it's really good for her. So, getting that job. So yeah, definitely. I think and I think we'll see some of that the same on the other side. Maybe Sam will be teaching. Maybe Hawk. We'll see how it shapes up over there. But yeah, definitely. They're going to expand. Which is the way learning is. When you practice martial arts and train, ultimately part of it is you start teaching the younger ones, the lower ranks and such. So you do that. So
Yeah. And I totally had a point and I totally oh, got it. Silver, with all this money, because it's not like, it's not like he's a middle class person who has enough money but still needs to support himself. This dude is like he's loaded. He could do whatever he wants. So um do you think, with Tori, she's obviously in a much less than stable household. She could use anything at this point. So
Mhm.
I know you mentioned Silver, you know, maybe putting her on the payroll, like giving her a job there. But do you think he'll help out a little more than that? Maybe provide a house for her. He can. It's nothing for him. You know.
um well, we'll see how it goes because part of the way I think there's a few things to happen. I think Tori confronts Silver about what she saw with the ref or something, because she has a lot of doubts and is maybe upset about that. So, Tori confronts him. And then I also think it seems very likely, her mother is close to dying now. It's something even speculated could happen in season 4, just based on the condition that they say her mother's in. And then the way she's talking about her, the way her aunt's talking about it seems like, so if her mother dies, Tori's in need. I don't necessarily know if he'll just come in and write her a check and say, here's a house, here's a lot of money. Um, but by giving her a job and being it, he keeps her, consistent loyalty. So then, she gets the job and then she needs to stay on the job. So he knows she will stay loyal to him. So he kind of buys her loyalty, and she puts aside her mistrust about the paying off the ref. So I think that's how he gets Tori's loyalty.
And is it like, will she be allowed to live by herself? I mean, with raising her brother,
Oh, I
is
think,
eight?
yeah, and that's the other thing. I think he'll offer lawyers, for all that. He'll offer his lawyers so that he will like. So that's the thing. Like if her mom dies, he will have his lawyer step in for her to make sure the aunt doesn't get custody or any of that. Um, they mention her father. If her father shows up, maybe he could deal with that too. So yeah, definitely he's going to offer the lawyers and stuff for that too.
Who's the judge on the case? Mystical. Mystical just bribe him or whatever is the line, from Karate Kid 3. It's just all that, you know,
Yeah.
bribe him, set up a
The
lunch with
funny
this
thing is,
person.
yeah, I assumed almost the same thing. Oh, I know the judge of the case. We'll have him over. We'll have him over.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Like it's like it's just like what, like arrange a dinner with him like Wednesday. Just we need a scene like that. We need a Margaret like character where he's
Yeah.
just it's just the way he speaks in that scene, that bubble bath scene.
Mhm.
Like just very it's just nothing to him. It's nothing. Bribe him like usual. Just
Right. Right. Yeah. He's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So if anybody in the chat has any questions, feel free to put it out there.
Fire away.
Fire away.
Fire away.
Hit us with your best shot. Fire away. Oh wait. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess that's why I said it. I kind of didn't realize it, but then I was like, that's probably why. You know when like you hear a song like over and over, and then you're like, why am I singing it? But then it's like, oh, you heard it before. I don't know. This is a good one. Jake was here says, who do we think would win, Chosen versus Silver? I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I think most of the fandom is wondering that question right now.
I never thought we would get that fight, by the way. Like that's like a fantasy battle fight that I just didn't think we'd get it, but now like we're definitely gonna get that fight.
How good is Chosen though? I mean, we know Silver's one of the top. You know, how much better has Chosen gotten since 1985? Karate Kid 2. Like he was kicking Daniel's butt there in season 3, but not consistently. Like Daniel got him a couple of times. But like how good is Chosen? That is interesting because off the top, my money may be on Silver.
Yeah. Well, we could kind of like use other fights to kind of tie it together. So, all right, so Chosen kicked Daniel's ass in Okinawa. He completely destroyed Daniel. Silver destroyed Johnny, and we know Johnny and Daniel are equal. You know, like they're literally equal. They both
Right.
they both
They
knocked each other
refuse
out.
to give us a winner, you know, like they have the
refuse.
rematch and they refuse to give us a winner. So
Literally, they just like it's like both punching each other at the same time. So it's tough because both are, you can't really look back and say, oh, this person beat this person, because both chosen destroyed Daniel and Silver destroyed Johnny, and you know we know Daniel and Johnny are pretty equal. But listen, I think Chosen ultimately would win. I think it would be a long fight. I don't think it would be an easy fight. I think it would be close. I think Chosen, you know, it would be one of his toughest competitors, but I think ultimately Chosen has the we know Miyagi-Do always comes out on top, and Chosen with all his Miyagi-Do knowledge and you know, the offense and the defense, I think he would ultimately be able to kind of slither his way and beat Terry Silver. But I think it would be like an amazing fight.
yeah, definitely. Either way, it's looking exciting. And then, but what about Barnes? So
Karate's a joke.
karate's a joke. Chosen.
Wait, so Barnes versus Chosen? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. See, many people think in 85 Barnes would be Chosen. But what about today?
In 85, would Barnes beat Chosen?
Because they always say, you know, Barnes only lost kind of on a technicality. He was pummeling Daniel, and Daniel beat Chosen. So
True. I don't know. I mean, Chosen was a little. I would probably give it to Mike there because, I mean, even though Mike was a hothead, Chosen was very, you know,
well,
was
Chosen was a hothead then too. So
yeah. He Chosen was a hothead, and he would just kind of we know Chosen was a good he could fight like multiple people at once. But then as we saw like in that little training thing in the dojo, but one-on-one, you know, Daniel held his own. Mike was just able to kick Daniel's ass. So I'd probably give it to Mike. But now I would say, I mean, we don't know where Mike is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
For all we know, Mike trained under Bruce Lee and is now but we don't know. So I'm gonna say Chosen though. But
You're
then
going, yeah.
I mean, listen. Do I think just because Chosen Okay. Just because I think Chosen would beat Terry Silver, it doesn't mean that he would. Does it? Or it doesn't mean that he will, because, you know, once we see the story, you know, there's always little things that happen. What if Terry does something to Chosen to kind of catch him off his game? So I'm not necessarily saying that when Chosen and Silver fight, Chosen will win, because it just depends on the circumstance, what's happening. Because I don't know if it's best, honestly, to have Chosen beat Silver in season 5. That might not be the best story thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because then if someone beats Silver, right, then who's the big bad?
Who's Cobra Kai? Yeah.
Who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to look at him as a threat if Chosen beats him up, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, listen, Kreese got beat up in season 3. You know, he ultimately lost, but that's why you're bringing back Silver. You know, you're not gonna, if you have your villain. Perfect. I've the perfect example. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Like, you have, it was probably the worst, most idiotic move to have Kylo Ren lose that fight, because you're expecting us to be scared of him. And what like going into a rematch in Last Jedi, if there's a Rey versus Kylo rematch, you're the hero already won. There's nothing for her.
Without any training either, too. Like Ray didn't know anything, and she still managed to win. It was a yeah. I was uncertain about that as well, but
It was, you know what, they were trying to, turn the story, and in a way they could have made that work if Rey was training and
Mhm.
Kylo lost, and then episode 8 they made it where now it kind of, the story flips, and now it's Kylo like training, and you kind of focus more on that. But that's not what they were doing. It was just, you got to have Rey win because she doesn't lose anything. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was and it might have been better. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. Star Wars, like,
yeah,
depending on how the sequels then carried it out. Like that in itself, it depends. Okay, I enjoyed the movie even, but like, where do you go from there? So, but that's a whole nother story. So,
yeah. So I mean, basically the point is, if Silver is the top villain, there's no guy higher than him. Sure, it's okay to show a little weakness and vulnerability, but Bigo says Silver already lost the fight. What fight did he lose? Am I missing something?
the fight for the soul of the valley. I don't know.
No, he won everything. And listen, I mean, I think I just don't think you can like completely like have him lose and then just, okay, like, you know what I mean? Because then it kind of, you lose tension for another fight where it's like now the heroes win again, you know. So
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that, and for whatever it's worth, I think on some level, John, Josh, and Hayden are aware of that. If you just have them win every time, you don't quite have the suspense. So you got to have some suspense, some
yeah.
uncertainty.
What I respect about what they're doing with the story is, you know, as I mentioned earlier, I thought that they were saving the Kreese redemption arc, the silver turning on Kreese. I thought they were saving that for season 5, but I actually oh, Marvin says against Miyagi, but that's Miyagi. Miyagi's the best fighter in all
Yeah.
of Karate Kid. That was back in Karate Kid. I'm talking about Cobra Kai specifically.
Mhm.
I love that, by the way, like how the writers like officially said Mr. Miyagi is the greatest fighter in
Yeah, they
Karate.
have, and I mean, I think that's pretty established in canon. So,
It's just kind of cool, you know. It's just cool to know that like nobody's ever gonna beat him.
yep, no one
So
ever did. The only one who got a kick on him was Anthony. Apparently, he was a newborn.
that's actually such a funny Easter egg.
Mhm.
Literally the only person that ever, and chosen did get a hit on him.
Mhm. like talking about like the John Josh and Hayden's plan, like, so I strongly suspected, I thought Robbie was going to win. And then I thought there was going to be like, I thought there was, it was that what ended up being skills. I thought was going to be like its own competition, that Sam was going to win. So they could all be winners. But looking ahead now we have Robbie and Sam are both second place finishers, right? So where Johnny and Daniel are both 2-time champions, their kids are both second place finishers. So I feel like there's something more to come for Robbie and Sam, at least, and maybe Miguel, but definitely for those two. So because they didn't want to give them a win, an All Valley win in season 4. So there's something more to come down the line. I don't know what that'll be, but like you can look at that and you can see, well, what's to come for them, as they're now both second place finishers.
Yeah, and I even watched a little interview where they discussed the finale, and Tanner said he was like reading the script and he was expecting Robbie to win. Robbie's lost every single season. Every single season, Robbie's, even when he's won, like beating Miguel, he technically lost.
He was really, lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you expect it all to him to finally get his victory here, and he doesn't. And Tanner even acknowledges that he went to John, Josh, and Hayden and said, I ain't get my victory, whatever. So now the question is, season 5, does he finally get it? Like, he's out of all the characters, he's probably been trashed the most. I love it because it's adding more. But we're hoping for him to finally succeed in something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, really, even in season 3, like, he fought Sean, but like that got broken up. It didn't really fight to an end. It got fought till it was ended by the cards. So yeah, you're right. He hasn't quite had a victory yet. So that's something that's still out there, and it obviously, and I think about it, and Johnny was defined so much by his loss to Daniel, and now Robbie's got 2 second place finishes, so he hasn't really had that victory. So what does that mean for Robbie? And then that's why I was thinking the same thing. Now Sam is the second place finisher. What does that mean for her? Where are they going? So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Now, something that I know you brought it up in your first reaction to the show. I definitely want to talk about it with you, because this was a thing where before season 4 we heard, and now that we have the season, we have the context. I think we should break it down, and that's Martin Cove and William Zabka in that panel back. It was a couple of months
back
ago
in August. Yeah.
And you want to explain it, like that, just that whole thing?
Yeah, so they were at a con. I forget which one, and just doing a panel, talking, taking questions, and just briefly, what had happened is there was a question. Hey, do you ever rewrite the lines or rewrite the script a little bit for yourself? And then Martin Cove, if you follow Martin Cove, as you'll realize this is something he does. He just starts kind of like telling a story, running his mouth a little bit, maybe saying a little bit more than he should.
I'm surprised he didn't reveal the ending.
yeah. Well, he does. I mean, like he does kind of say more than he should. It's just sort of Martin Cove. So, but anyway, he starts just talking. He's like, yeah. Well, he said, like, I used to always change lines around or something, and to be clear, like you can sort of like change sentences around where you're saying the same exact thing. It's just like the words in a different order or something, and he's like, I used to do stuff like that all the time, just to say it better, whatever. But I don't really do that anymore. And then he's like, but you know what? Like, so there was this scene we had a problem with, in season 4, and he's like in episode 10 of season 4, and he's Billy's there. So it's him and Billy, he's like, we had this problem with the scene, and he's just talking about that he and Billy went in, like, there was a scene in episode 10. They didn't like it for whatever reason. He didn't explain, but they sat down and rewrote it themselves over the weekend. and then showed it to John, Josh, and Hayden, and and he made it as into a joke, like, yeah, it's good, but let's just go with what we wrote, so yeah, that's the context. There was a scene in episode 10 that Billy Zabka and Martin Cove, wasn't clicking right for them. When they were reading it, it didn't work right for them. So they actually sat down and rewrote it themselves. My assumption, now having seen it, my assumption is it was the scene relatively early on where Kreese is, they're talking about essentially the original movie. And he's saying, like Johnny's like, you told me to fight dirty. And then Kreese says, like, hey, you were down 2-0. I knew if you lost, it would defeat you or whatever. And essentially I was right. I gave you a chance to win. Now I don't remember the exact wording of in the scene, but so that's what I think it was. I mean, we don't know. And we don't know what their problem was with it. I do think the purpose of the scene is to maybe show it more from Kreese's perspective. It's not necessarily I was getting you to fight dirty. I was trying to help you to get to win or something like that. I don't know. What do you think of the scene? Assuming like that's the one in the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is the one because that's the only scene where the two of them are together. That's the scene that they had a problem with. So, do you have a problem with that?
Mhm.
But listen, I've especially after hearing Martin say that, I've watched this scene over and over, and
Mhm.
I can't think of anything really wrong with it. I mean, other than like, as Martin said, maybe changing a word or two. I think if they had a problem with the scene itself, I thought maybe they had a whole problem with Kreese's redemption arc because I feel like that scene is key in Kreese's redemption. It's and it's really just kind of telling the same story, just maybe a little, from Kreese's side and just adding a little heart to him, but not too much. So it was very surprising, like to kind of like go back and hear that maybe you can understand um Martin Cove having a problem with it. Like it's maybe he doesn't believe Kreese would say that. Um he wouldn't be that forgiving. And maybe it's more
Kind of a
he
sudden turn for Kreese. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely think that, and I do think the show was being written in that direction from episode 8, from the incident in the old dojo. So yeah.
Even earlier, I think it was just with Terry, I think it wasn't just seeing Johnny get hurt. It was seeing him get hurt by Terry, who he's kind of been at odds with the whole season. Just being at odds with Terry is kind of pushing him on the other side. They were both
Right.
Cobra Kai, No Mercy, but with Terry Silver taking over, it's kind of made Kreese a little more sympathetic to kind of oppose that because
Mhm.
he's not on the same page as Silver. So it is interesting though that not only did Cove have an issue with it, but Zapka did too, and we're not talking like a little issue. If you guys go back and watch this video, which is on YouTube, this panel, it wasn't like a little issue. It was they had a major issue with the scene. So my
They sat down and rewrote it apparently over
yeah.
the weekend, according to Martin Cove. Now that's kind of specific. I mean, it's one thing if like there's a line in there you don't think is right or not right for your character, or you question it as an actor. They would always say normally you can go to the producer, the writer, whoever, and just be like, hey, what's going on with this line? I don't think this line is right. It doesn't feel right. And performers do that, right? Like that's not like it's unheard of. Especially for a character you've played for a long time. Like, it's like this is a running show. It's a character very well. So definitely that can happen. But they sat down and rewrote the whole scene. I'm curious to what they wrote it as, or just at least a taste of what was different. What was their take on it? I do think, and this is something, when I get my review out, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to bring up, but we see Kreese trying to do things differently, and it especially pays off then in Tory's match when, Terry Silver wants the Quicksilver method and everything, and Kreese no, just let her fight her way. She got this far. And so you see that difference, that change, from the Karate Kid. He knows he's got to trust her if she's going to win. So he tells that story and kind of explains himself, but even still, when it gets to crunch time with Tory, he changes. He doesn't follow essentially what Terry Silver wanted, to fight dirty or anything. Just do it your way. So,
yeah, it's weird because, let me ask you, do you think that Zapka and Cove Scene, whatever they wrote, because when we look at how both characters started in that scene and how both characters end, or more specifically Kreese, in that one scene in the hallway, he starts, he's still got that no mercy edge in him. He's kind of been saying it the whole time, but that scene, by the end of the scene, that's where it kind of hits him. Like, look what I did to Johnny Lawrence, someone who I really care about. So there's that transformation throughout that scene. So my question is, do you think it's the dialogue, or do you think it's the actual transformation? Because if that's the case, if Cove and Zapka didn't like how Kreese ended in that scene, that's what sets up his whole redemption. So did they have a problem with his redemption, or what? Like, how could it have just been that one scene
I don't
if
know.
this is something all set up? And
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, and I think Kreese says something like, maybe Robbie can now keep Cobra Kai or continue Cobra Kai or something, and then Johnny says tonight Cobra Kai is gonna die, which I think is also setting up Johnny's failed motivation speech to Miguel, but that's another whole issue. But I don't know. Part of the problem, I have to just watch it a few more times and just to get all the nuances and everything. You got to see it like 10 times for those sort of nuances. But what is, you got Kreese's redemption, his realization he has to do something different with Tory in her match. And where's the flaw? What would the rewrite be? I don't know. So
Yeah, it's I don't know if we'll get I don't know if we'll ever get that story, but it'll be interesting.
Well, it would be nice if someone asked them
In an interview.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
you could
would.
ask either Billy Martin or John Josh or Hayden. What was the thinking from that scene? What was the issue? What was the proposed alternative?
I don't think they would
I
ever
like it all.
say
I
it.
don't know. Yeah.
As much as us fans want to know, I don't think they will ever address that, honestly.
No. Just get Martin Cove talking. That's your
No, like, no, I do agree. Like, he sometimes says things and doesn't realize. Like, I'm just surprised we, haven't found out, with all these Comic Cons and with season 5 filming. I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything. Like, I'm surprised we didn't know Kreese was getting arrested and that Silver was turning on him.
It must have been hard for him. Yeah.
Hopefully it's, I mean, listen, it is, I have to give props to the cast for doing the interviews. during season 4 when it's coming out while filming season 5, I'm sure it's very confusing. It's kind of like, can I talk about this? Can I not? Like, I remember
Oh
um
yeah.
when I
Yeah,
was at
definitely.
Comic-Con, I was like to Gianni, like, so you guys are filming season 5 right now, right? And that was public information. And he's like, I don't, baby, I don't know. I can't, like, I'm not trying to, it's just like, it's like, they're literally so like scared to talk about anything. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's just like you're just yeah, I'm sure it's it gets confused at some point. Like
yeah. So, if you want, do you want to take like a couple more questions from the live chat? And
yeah,
then,
we'll do a couple more and then
and
I'll head out. I gotta get to editing. I want to get a review out. I know people have been asking for my review. I do have it recorded, so I just gotta. It's pretty long, so I gotta get all
oh,
that done.
I don't want to keep you. So,
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a couple more questions. If anyone's got anything, please ask away.
okay, we'll do like 2 or 3 more. So, um, and wait, so you're gonna be, so I imagine this is gonna be an all-nighter for you, right?
I know, and I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep last night. It was
Man.
funny. The night before, I finally caught up on some sleep. Like got like 9 or 10 hours. For so long I've been going on so little. And of course, when the show came out, your sleep is totally messed up. And but then I didn't get much sleep again last night. So
Damn.
someone said, "Can we talk about Robbie and Tori?" I don't know where that was.
Um,
Or the prom
do you,
scene.
do you know the username? Oh, got it. Becky.
Well, Becky, what do you want to talk about, Robbie and Tori? Hot power couple. That's what I say.
Do you like them? I actually really liked them this season. I thought they
Oh
were
yeah,
good.
I did. In fact, I even said in season 3, going into season 3, I suspected late season there may be a few scenes, a few moments between Robbie and Tori, not a relationship, but just some moments. It was pretty much exactly what happened, what I predicted. And what I said right after season 3 is, wow, it was actually better than I thought. Like there's something, they got a little bit of chemistry together. They kind of work together a little bit better than even you would normally even think. Yeah, I do actually like them together. I'm a little concerned about them going forward, especially if Robbie's taking off to Mexico, because Tori's gonna take that very hard. I don't think she can necessarily take him leaving her immediately. So I'm a little concerned about them, but for whatever it was in season 4 here, I did like it. So for sure.
Yeah, I thought probably the highlight scene between the two of them where the connection really established was the prom scene when they were talking to each other, and ultimately it led to that the line, like, are they still watching? Because the whole thing was like the whole reason they were there was, to get Miguel and Sam's attention, but then Robbie's like, I don't care. I don't even care.
know. I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, me neither. So they both focus on each other. And listen, are they rebounds? Yes, but
Mhm.
I mean, I do think, as you said, they have a lot in common, and I think
Mhm.
it was just very well developed from the first episode. I think they came a long way.
Mhm.
Do you want to take one more question?
Yeah, there are a couple more. There's
All
some
right.
people are asking some stuff.
All right, cool. Talking Star Wars, thank you so much. Will we get another Chosen and Daniel students versus possibly Barnes and the Kais? Oh, versus Silver, Barnes and the Kais. Well, that's another tournament, though. What do you think?
Well, probably not in season 5. Maybe they'll kick out another All Valley with Anthony and Devin and Kenny and whatever other kids they work up. They definitely may kick out another All Valley. It won't be in season 5. I definitely think season 5 is going to go in other directions. Are there other tournaments? Is there an over 18 tournament? Is there an over 50 tournament for Daniel and Johnny to compete? Those are the questions we really want to know, I think.
Is there an over 70 tournament for Kreese?
Yeah. So I don't know, precisely what they have in mind for the tournament. They've kind of run the course for tournaments. It's obviously it's still there, but we'll have to see. But like I've said, definitely I think there's something in mind, right? They have something in mind for Robbie. Like he's never gotten his win. He's a 2-time second place finisher. They have something in mind for Sam. She's a second place finisher. So there's something in mind for these characters. So definitely something out there.
You know what we still didn't get that I thought we were gonna get in season 4? We didn't. And I think, probably season 5. I think, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's a definite season 5 with the whole Mexico trip, because we know there's gonna be a fight. That's so obvious that there's gonna be a fight.
Mhm.
And who's Johnny with? He's with Robbie or he's with Miguel.
Mhm.
Sensei student team up. I've been waiting for a sensei to fight alongside a student, and I
You're
think
right.
season 5. I think especially because they're gonna going to Mexico, dude. Imagine Robbie and Johnny fighting together,
Fighting,
father
yeah.
and son. Like, and you even saw like some of the I loved at prom or the after prom when Tory, like Robbie, like kind of like swung Tory. They were kind of teaming up together. That'd be, I don't know. I think Robbie and Johnny to start would do their own thing. They'll be
Mhm.
fighting their own bad guys, but I mean that'd be pretty cool if like Johnny like ducks down, Robbie jumps off his back. I don't know.
It does cool stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, hopefully we get that. Do you think we'll get that in season 5? A student sensei team up?
Yeah, yeah. I think we're due, definitely. Um and then maybe we'll get a Miguel Robbie fight where they're on the same side too. So I think that would be cool.
That's the arc we need redemption for.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, Cal says, "Can we talk about the Johnny Miguel episode 8 scene?" Oh, that I cried. I cried during that scene. The I love you
Oh,
scene.
oh man. Boy, is that out of left field too? Like you weren't expecting that. And then yeah, it's just killing you and then yeah, sad. Definitely.
Jeez. And it's like you go when you go back, when you first listen to it, you think he's talking about Miguel, but when you go back and rewatch it, the whole time he was talking about Robbie.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't like he just messed up the name. He's like I've like I want to be a father to you. I know I suck at it. He was talking about Robbie, and it's like,
The whole time.
damn it. Showo's acting there was amazing.
Yeah. This is a rough night for Miguel, actually. If you really think about it, I mean, prom kind of got ruined by Robbie and Tori. Sam instigated a fight and then they end up in the water and kind of stomped home on bad terms, a little upset at each other, and then he gets hit by that. Yeah, it was kind of a bad night for Miguel, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of people actually said, and people that I know personally have said that they weren't a fan of Miguel this season. I don't know what your thoughts on that are. I thought he was great. I mean, I personally really enjoyed his character. He's my favorite character of the show. I thought this season was great for him. I don't I don't know. What
I
are your
think
thoughts?
I think maybe the reason they think that is like the nature of his storyline. Um, he wasn't doing a whole lot. It wasn't like season one where he's training up, he's overcoming bullies, he's overcoming stuff. It's more like his storyline. He's getting close to Daniel, but that's not actually really about him. It's what triggers the jealousy from Johnny and the protectiveness from Johnny. So yeah, it's like the stuff he was doing, the stakes for itself wasn't very high. So I think that's the reason they're having that opinion. Sometimes just the nature of his story. It wasn't like he was making big accomplishments and getting things done. It was kind of like sort of being there and how what he did influenced other people was the impact on the overall story.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. I mean, I think for me personally, you'll never get better then I mean maybe they will, but season 1 Miguel definitely will
Yeah.
always be my favorite. Just
Yeah.
nerd. He's a
Mhm.
completely different character, and I think the more they introduce these newer characters, it's great and all. But season 1, there was so much attention on Miguel,
Mhm.
and then season 2, 3, the attention starts to become more general. Like it starts to become like dispersed amongst everyone. Everyone starts to become the Karate Kid in a way, when
Mhm.
really it was always Miguel in the beginning.
Right. Mhm.
But listen, I think they definitely set up a Miguel focused season 5.
Yeah, definitely. I think Miguel season 5 will be very interesting. So we'll see where that goes.
Yep. Um, do you want to take one more? Or?
We'll do one more and then I'll
Okay.
head out.
And then we'll head out and stay up till whatever time. What time? The big dude. I trust me. I know how it feels.
Mhm.
How does it feel? How does it feel? If you say know how it feels, how does it feel?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't actually know how it feels. You don't. Because you know what part I was like, no, like I mean I was watching it serious, but now that we're like rewatching it and stuff,
Mhm.
like what was it? I don't want to curse on here, but when Kenny's like yeah, you don't, because you just treated me like a piece of when he like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It was just funny. He was getting so mad, but um okay, yeah. So what time do you think you're to stay up to? I'm just curious. What would
I honestly don't know. It depends on how I feel. If I don't finish the video and I wake up and finish it, I'll do that too. I'm trying to just be a little bit easier on myself, where I always want to try to finish it before I go to sleep. But especially since this is going to be a longer video, so we'll see how it goes.
yeah. I mean, my take on it, I don't know. Maybe do a little bit, or do as much as you can. When you start to get tired, I would say just get that sleep.
Just get to sleep,
Get this
and then
sleep,
you
and
can
maybe
finish it in the morning and afternoon.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
set an alarm too, so you don't like oversleep.
Mhm.
Just so you're fresh. You'll probably,
Mhm.
I don't know, like it's like as much as I love editing and stuff, it's like I feel like if I'm up till 3 a.m., I'm not sitting there like, wow, this is so great. Like, it gets very draining. So I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes the best thing is to just go to sleep, and then
Mhm.
but also I get like sometimes you just need to get it done. You just have
Yeah.
to. So, all right, let's get if you want to pick one, you could pick the final question, but let's let's
Um,
let's get it let's get a good one. So, what do you think about Justin's question, or you want to do that one?
where is it? Justin,
That one just I don't know, I just saw that one.
put it up. Let me see.
Do you think the big 3 are still set on their original ending, or do you think it's constantly evolving?
Okay, so from what they've said publicly, which is all we have to go on, obviously, it seems like they do have an ending in mind, and it doesn't seem like they've ever changed that. But definitely, what they say is, the process in getting there is evolving, and they don't quite fully know where it will be yet. They've always said we hope for at least 6 seasons, and now they're kind of even a little softer on that. Well, maybe we'll see what Netflix wants, kind of opening that door to potentially more than 6 seasons. I guess if this show is bringing in money, which I think it may, with like especially merchandising and stuff, so it may be a more profitable show than you would necessarily exactly. So maybe Netflix is maybe more willing to fund another season or two more, and then they can work that in. So, but I do think the ending they had in mind is still set, at least from the way they originally saw the show.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like I think in an interview they're like we're filming season 5 and we have plans way beyond it. It didn't seem
Right.
like it just didn't seem like we have some more like it seemed like they just I don't know. I feel like 7
Yeah, I'm
is kind of like
7 is kind of the number that's kind of hitting me right now. If that's true, then think of what we just watched. Season 4 is literally the middle of the season.
that's
And
nuts.
that would make, like episode 5, the rematch between Daniel and Johnny, that would make that the middle of the show, right? So that would be literally the middle of the middle. So I can sort of see that. I think maybe they were saying 6 because they thought, well, we can do it in 6 while secretly hoping 7 or something. But like, just the economics of the whole thing was always going to be a little bit uncertain. But since this show is very successful on Netflix, Netflix even before mentioned it as one of their top shows. The CEO of the company talked about it as one of their top shows, and there's other revenue streams, from the merchandising something. So it's more profitable for the business. So it makes business sense, and people are enjoying it. Maybe they can get 7 seasons. And then in which case, we got 3 more to go. What we just saw was essentially the middle of the series. So in the middle of the series had a Johnny Daniel rematch that was undecided. It had an All Valley tournament that had Hawk and Tory winning, but then had Sam and Robbie, the kids of the All Valley champions, the kids of the originals. They got their second place finishes, and Miguel withdrew. Miguel didn't compete at all. Ultimately, I mean, he competed, but he didn't finish. So there's definitely room to go in all those stories.
Yeah. I think that it is interesting. What would they have done if they were to make it 6 seasons, which they said at least 6 seasons, but if they really needed a 7th, I think the extra time, maybe it's not extra time, but the additional seasons would be for making the students more of the mentors, as we discussed. I
Mhm.
think I think if they were to I think if the writers were to say, okay, like, or if Netflix were to say, okay, you guys only have 6 seasons, they would conclude all the storylines at 6. The kids may graduate, that's it. But they're still learning in the dojos. I think the way the show extends is by them. They're learning from Daniel, Johnny, Kreese, Silver, whoever, but then they become the mentors, as we saw with Robbie, but probably to a more like a more legitimate part, like where they're actually like considered senseis at the tournament, where it's now the next generation of
Mhm.
the next, it's the next
Right.
generation
Yeah.
of the next generation. So
Mhm.
we will, I guess we'll see. I mean,
We'll see. Yeah, for sure.
the more Cobra Kai, the better always.
Yes.
So they know not to overstay their welcome, though.
Yeah, I do think they have a good sense of that. There is like a story they want to tell. If they have to tell it in 6, they can. But if they're given an opportunity for 7, they will. But they also know, we aren't going to do, you know, 12 seasons just because someone's putting up the cash. So although it's very tempting, so when someone's putting cash in front of you, but so I do think they basically have an idea of where they want to be. Um,
Yeah. And I mean, for everyone, I know a lot of people are saying like they don't want Cobra Kai to end, and of course we don't want Cobra Kai to end, but I mean there's a plus side that the franchise is starting. The franchise is basically like reborn.
mhm,
So we're gonna be getting spin-offs. So
mhm,
technically, even
yeah,
if Cobra Kai ends, doesn't mean the universe is gonna end. Like we could get something with we these actors, technically these younger actors could get their own spin-offs. You never know.
they could, yeah. They've said there's discussions and spinoffs. I mean, I have theories on what that may be. I think maybe Robert Mark Kamen is involved, but we'll see where it goes. Um,
Yeah. That is a discussion for another time.
Another time.
That would be a good discussion. That's the next one.
The next one. Okay.
We'll write that down. Gotta write it down. Gotta write it down.
Right.
Well, watch party. Thank you as always. It was a pleasure. And you were the first person I've spoken to like really this much, other than my parents about
Yeah,
season.
other than the people in the house, right? Yeah, I haven't really spoken to anyone. I mean, I talked to, I mean, other than my own live streams, and then it was a little thing with Brianna, but yeah, definitely just getting all the thoughts in order, right? And definitely a long way to go, a lot to think about from season 4, and looking forward to season 5. So,
Yes, sir. So why don't you tell everyone before you go where they can check you out, and like maybe like any upcoming stuff you have?
all right, guys, I have a YouTube channel called Watch Party. You believe it or not, look for the logo right there. I do have a season 4 review recap, which really only begins to have all my thoughts on it, but and it'll be long. I do hope to have it out within the next day. If it takes another day, we'll see. I do want to get it out relatively soon, and then I will definitely have great, theories about season 5 and a lot more analysis of season 4. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Watch Party 1. You can always send me a tweet or something.
Yes, sir. And I got Watch Party's link in the description. If you just click the Watch Party name, it'll take you right to the channel. And yeah, man, thank you for popping on. And
Thank you
I'll talk
for
to you.
having me.
I'll talk
Yes.
to you soon. No mercy,
Yes,
brother.
we'll be right. No mercy. Bye-bye. Cobra Kai never dies.
Oh, of course. Never dies.
Never dies.
All right. There we go. It was a good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna answer some super chats to end the live stream. So just sit around for that. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys so much for sending in the super chats. I really appreciate that. Wow, we have a lot. So let's get up to it. So wow, we have a lot. Thank you guys. Chase Douglas, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will Daniel and Chosen find a way to team up and take down Cobra Kai in season 5? I mean, I think that's what they set up at the end of season 4 is Daniel and Chosen teaming up, using Miyagi-Do to take down Cobra Kai. Dark Ronin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I agree. I mean, I ship Sam and Miguel, but I feel like Tory and Robbie had more chemistry. I hope Sam and Miguel and Robbie and Tory are endgame. I hope so too. But at the same time, we still have a couple more seasons. And John Hurwitz was actually asked a question in a Q&A. The question was, how would you describe Sam and Miguel's relationship in season 4? And John said it's a question he can't even answer because they're filming season 5 right now. And it's all, he mixes it up. So that just goes to show season 5, they're not going to be completely lovey-dovey. So Joel, thank you so much for that. I hope next season in Miyagi-Do, we will see great chemistry between Chosen and Hawk/Eli. That would be nice. I think they would be great together. It is really cool that now we're going to have Chosen interact with all these different characters. Samantha, Eli, Demetri. Imagine Chosen and Demetri. That's so cool. Hassan, thank you so much. I'm convinced Kreese is Johnny's father. Highlight for me is Thomas Ian Griffith's phenomenal performance. Yeah, I don't think Kreese is Johnny's father. I think that would be too much of a coincidence. But definitely Griffith was the highlight of season 4. Mystify, thank you so much for the super chat. Justin Grow, thank you. Sad they cut Terry Silver's Back in Cobra Kai song from season 4 across that shows up on the soundtrack. Oh, you mean my parody? Yeah, they I mean, they should have put it in, but it's okay. It's okay. Mystify, thank you so much for the super chat. Who wins? Daniel Russo versus Miguel, Eli, and Robbie. 1-on-3. I would say Daniel Russo wins that fight. I think Daniel Russo could take the 3 of them. Hannah Zahenter, look what he did to the hockey players. Hannah Zahenter, thank you so much for the super chat. Am I surprised that Terry betrayed Kreese? No, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that it happened in season 4. I didn't expect that to happen so soon, and the way they did it was crazy. Moises, thank you so much for the super chat. Funny part is Johnny and Daniel both knock out literally at the same time. Shelly says, so Lucille must have forgiven Johnny for what he did to Daniel. Would have loved to hear them talk. Yeah, I feel like Lucille, I was like, when I first saw Lucille, I'm like, Lucille. And then that was it. They didn't really do much with her. And yeah, Johnny was there, and she, even in season 1, those Cobra Kais, they were a bunch of jerks, It would have been nice to have at least one line of dialogue, but they completely ignored each other. Oh, school, thank you for the super chat. Well, Pusso, that's funny. The Neuro Ravindra, thank you for the super chat. Thomas's acting was a lot better than in Karate Kid Part 3. Was really surprised. I also hope to be that good at karate at 60. Well, in Karate Kid Part 3, he was told to do what he did. Kamen and Avildsen, Avildsen, the director, told him, like, be extreme, be crazy. So if you're judging his acting based on that craziness, the over the topness, I think that was why, because that was the directing. So it wasn't him. I think he was just always an amazing actor. But definitely in Cobra Kai, because his character is a little more grounded, it really highlights his acting more. Quero, thank you for the super chat. Brian Larkin, thank you so much for the super chat. I'll definitely check out your fan art, man. The Neuro Ravindra, how could the next Robby versus Miguel fight play out? I don't know. I mean, we know they're going to both be in Mexico together. I don't know if they'll fight then, honestly. I hope they don't, but Brian Larkin, shout out to Brian Larkin Art. Life Productions, would I like to be in Cobra Kai if possible? Like, act in the show? I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that'd be sick. So we've been going at it for 2 hours, 30 minutes. I'm very glad I was able to go this long. I wasn't sure if I would, based on how I was feeling, but I'm feeling a lot better. So I just want to thank you all for the love and support, for joining me for this stream. Watch party. What? When I interviewed Dallas, he said his last name is Payne. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Totally slipped by me. But there you go. It explains it. So, guys, stay tuned for some more videos coming in the future. Justin Grow, no, I never got confirmation on that, so I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna just take it as a reference. I'm gonna just take it like that. Even if it's not, I'll just take it. A kid could dream. A Cobra Kai kid could dream. So stay tuned for more videos, guys. Also stay tuned for interviews. We're gonna be doing interviews soon. Kevin Lau, I know you just joined. I'm sorry about that, but you can go back, rewind. You got 2 hours and 30 minutes of a very fun stream. So thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Can I do the Cobra Kai game? Yeah, I was actually playing it yesterday. I wasn't live streaming it. It's a freaking hard game, and I've been playing it for over a year, and I still can't beat it. I suck at that game, so I don't know if I'll ever beat it. Six Stream loved it. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so thank you all for joining. Brian Larkin, thank you for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time on Cobra Kai Kid. I gotta get some Cobra Kai video clips here, because I got all these old ones, but I gotta get some newer ones.
Oh, I smell a rumble.
We got the iconic.
Nice pancake taco.
Come on, dude.
That's my favorite one, the pancake taco. So thank you guys all for watching. Love you all. I'll see you soon on Cobra Kai Kid. And until then, remember, Cobra Kai never dies.